Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm back again here. Got away this past weekend for a little while, and went to a couple places. Went to a new flea market, and unfortunately didn't find anything there, not comic-wise. So ended up going back to same flea market that I usually go to, and ended up picking up some good books. I'm glad I ended up going up there, even though it was a little bit later in the day. Ended up heading out on Sunday. I thought it was going to be kind of slow, and figured everybody would have picked them clean on Saturday while I was at work. But I think I found some pretty decent books. We'll start off here. Found this. This was actually one of the 25-cent boxes. So I had to pick this up. It was pretty neat. It's Doorway to Nightmare from DC. And it's not in bad condition. It's a little bit of spine damage. A little bit of corner damage. But all in all, not bad for 25 cents. Love these old horror and mystery and spooky tales comics. And that was a neat find there. Going through some other boxes, and these were in the the new comics that he'd picked up recently, and I was surprised. It's not in the greatest condition, but it was only it was $4 or $5. So I had to go ahead and pick it up anyway. It's got a great John Romita Sr. cover. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 77. You got Spider-Man, the Human Torch, and the Lizard all on the cover. And yeah, you can see here, it's in pretty bad shape. Corners got some nice creases there, somewhere on the edge, but the center, most of the artwork is still doesn't have too much damage to it. It's a little bit of fading and a little bit of wear, but not bad. Like I said, it was $4 or $5, so had to pick that up anyway. And the good thing about this guy go to is he totals everything up, and he takes 25% off. It's 25-cent books. If you get 4 or 5 or more, he counts those as 20 cents, and then adds that to the total of the non-25-cent books. Still takes 25 cents off of that total, and usually ends up rounding down a little bit, so you end up basically getting a book for free. And just pretty cool. That's why I keep going back there. I also found this Amazing Spider-Man number 95. Again, another fairly early Spider-Man, so I had to pick that up. I think this was about $4 too. So you can see it's not in great condition. That corner there is split. It's got some damage at the staples, which is pretty common, I find, on these older books anyway. But still, that's older Spider-Man, and it's torn from today's headlines. The hostage must die. Spidey fights in London. So that's the Tower Bridge there behind him. That's pretty cool. And I found another earlier Spider-Man. It's number 133. This one is in much better condition. I would say it's in a fine minus, at least a VG plus. The cover itself, as you can see here, is the artwork still pretty good condition. Still a light bit of fading, but there's still a little bit of gloss on the cover as well. So corners aren't sharp, but at least they're not creased real bad, and they're just kind of blunted. Yeah, you see the back cover is kind of out of line. You can see it sticking up from behind there, but I do believe I've opened it up. It's not creased in the back, so I do believe I can straighten that back out, put it in a tighter bag, and stick that in a short box I got that's slapped full. It'll kind of, hopefully that'll press that back into place, but even if not, it's still not bad. And it was, see, $5 there for that one. Excuse me. Found this one here also, Early Daredevil, number 48. That's in the cover there with Stiltman. I think is probably one of the lamest names for a villain ever, but still, it's a great looking cover. And again, it's not in the best condition, but I find these late 60s, even early 70s books, if they're in any decent condition and still readable, I try to pick them up if they're cheap enough. You just don't find them all the time in any condition. Yeah, it's got some creasing around here. Actually, that's pretty bad, but hey, it is what it is. That was only $3 or $4, so what the heck. Kind of excited to find this book. Pretty early Man-Thing appearance. Adventures into Fear, number 15. I think this was his actual first full solo story, and it's not in bad condition. It's not near mint, but it's better than Spider-Man's. See, spine's fairly good condition. That corner is a little worn. No creases along the top. No corner crease here. That's the bag, not the book. So it's not in bad condition. The worst part on the cover is here at the bottom. I don't know if you can pick that out, but you can see that on here. Just a little bit of a little wear right here in the middle. But yeah, I think that still, it's a great book, and I think it was only $2 or $3. Which one do I show next? This next book here, I picked it up purely for nostalgia. Don't know how many people, well, I'm sure everybody remembers this. It's pretty popular. It's Voltron. This is number 1 from Modern Comics. And yeah, I paid $4 for it. So sue me. Had to pick it up. It's actually not in bad condition. There's some stains on the bag. It's not on the cover itself. The white is still pretty white. The interior pages are they're a little off white. Not bad, not yellowed yet. So, had to pick that up. Honestly, that's the first time I've ever seen that comic. I remember hearing about it, but was never able to find it. Now, alright. Next book here, I was really happy to find this. It's not in a near mint condition, but it's at least a VG plus. It's not in too horrible a condition. It's Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man number 1. Been looking for that for a while. And like everybody says, not a millionaire, can't afford Amazing Spider-Man number 1 or Amazing Fantasy 15. This is probably the next best thing. And like I said, it's really not in bad condition. There's a crease here, and it's probably about an inch long, so I have to check that out, but I still think it's probably in a very good condition. Either way, I think it was like $5, so couldn't pass that one up. And along with that, also found issue number 2, which is in a little better condition. Don't see any bad creases on this one. And you see a sticker at one time he had it marked for $20, or at least someone did. I went ahead and picked that up as well. And I couldn't find issue number 3, but did find issue number 4, so I grabbed that one also. And there's a great vulture cover in the snow, and you know it's in pretty good condition as well. And I think the number 2 and 3 I think were $3 a piece. So yeah, not bad. And this last book, man, was when I was flipping through, I saw it and I was like, oh yes, that's awesome. And then I saw the condition, and man, but still, I've never seen this out at a flea market, any place like that. I may have seen one in a comic shop before, I'm not sure. So I had to pick it up anyway. I think he was asking $5 for it. I may have overpaid in the condition it's in, but I don't really care. It's Iron Man number 5. And as you can see, yeah, it's in pretty bad condition. That is, I checked and checked. That is not re-stapled. I can't see, there are no holes here in the spine. You want to see where a staple has been removed or anything. I think that's purely a mis-staple. Just the staple's out of line from the press. There's some spine creases. Some of them are pretty decent, not horrible, but some tears at this staple, and this staple is a little bit out of line. There's a little bit of rusting, and then down the bottom, and of course this white in the middle here is unfortunately not white anymore. There's that's on the bag, but there's some bad creases, and there's some creasing here on the edge. Some spine, you know, pretty decent spine stress running through the color here. And you can start to see, unfortunately, a little bit of color bleed through from the page underneath. And it does, some of the interior pages they have that as well, but again, it's, like I said, Iron Man number 5, I think it was $5. Like I said, you don't see that every day, so I had to go ahead and get that. And yeah, you know, it's not comics, but leaving there, I was heading back to the truck, and there was a vendor selling, you know, some decorative pieces. Those things made of that acrylic that's supposed to look like ceramic. And I can pick this up. It's a dragon. You see, it's got some cool Celtic symbols inside, Celtic knotwork, and these things are pretty detailed to be made of that acrylic stuff. I think it's $4 or $5. It's got some weight to it. I'll pick that up, stick that up on a shelf. I think that'll look pretty neat. So cool. That's what I picked up at the flea market. I normally go to. It's a pretty big one. The first flea market I went to, I decided to try one I'd been to years ago, and wanted to go back and see what they had. I remember a couple of people selling comic books at that one. Unfortunately, apparently they have moved on somewhere else. But there was a fairly large toy vendor. He had, it was mostly newer stuff, but he had a few, not vintage, but you know, some 90s things. And I don't know, lately I've been on this kick of picking up some of these, the Marvel superhero action figures from the 90s, especially the X-Men line. I came across some pretty neat ones here still in the package. I found the Brood figure, which I always thought, you know, looked kind of creepy. for 90s, they did a pretty decent job. Looks pretty creepy there. It's from 1993 line. You can see it's got some damage to the package up here, but he was asking $5 for them. I picked that up. Also picked up a Mr. Sinister, still in the package, and it's package on this is pretty good condition. So yeah, I always liked Mr. Sinister. And then I saw this. He had this thing in they're all on hooks, and this was up towards the top, and never could find this as a kid. You go to toy stores, or Walmart, Kmart, Targets. What was it before Target? Richways, things like that. I could never find. The female figures were all hard to find, but Rogue was impossible. So hey, what is it, 20 years later? Find it at a flea market for $5, which is probably $1 or $2 less than they were charging back in the 90s when they came out. They were probably like $7, $8 figures. So, and it's still sealed in package. I thought that was pretty cool. Picked that up, and apparently she has action uppercut. Press the lever on the back and her arm will fly up. I think they all had little things like that. I think Mr. Sinister is supposed to light up. I'm pretty sure those batteries are corroded in there by now, but what do? You either keep them in the package or you open them up, and then they're worth even less. Not that these are worth anything at all, but I think the Brood, you push the button and the wings would flap. So yeah, shows my back. So hey, went all the way out to the flea market. Didn't want to leave there without anything. Saw these, picked those up, $5 a piece. So great. That's what I got at the flea market this week. Do one more video in a little bit. Another place I found. I think it's going to be a new resource for me. I'm going to do that in a separate video. So everybody, y'all have a good week. I appreciate everybody is leaving comments and liking the videos. I try to get back to all the comments. Subscribe. I try to check out your channel, and if I haven't subscribed already, try to subscribe to the channel as well. Not in this for subscriptions and things, but I do appreciate it. I subscribe to a lot of people out there, and it's a lot of good content. And again, I appreciate everybody welcoming me into the community. This has been fun. I haven't had anybody show off my comment calls for a long time, so this is a good release. I appreciate that. So everybody take care, and we'll check out next time. Y'all be good.